you are going to be around, would you let me know when there's about 10 minutes left? I'll try to keep track here.
I'll definitely.
I'll come up here, see if I can tell. Hello, everybody. Can you believe it's Wednesday again? It's a beautiful day. I don't know what you're doing to keep track of the days, but I've got to check my calendar every morning just to make sure that I'm thinking it's the right day. But it's a beautiful day outside, and it's so nice and cool, so I'm really kind of happy that you're taking time to be indoors and spend this time together here with me in this class. And we'll be doing some of the same things again today, but every week I'm going to introduce just a little bit something new to you. Before we get started, I want to remind you maybe to have a chair nearby, because at the very end we're going to be sitting on a chair for the last 10 minutes or so. And also have something to drink nearby, some water or your favorite sports beverage or something to drink, because you will tend to warm up the body. We're going to spend a little bit of time beginning the class today in our standing post position, just a minute or so. We'll get into our regular exercises. We'll look a little bit at the form, do some of the Baduan Jing, and then some other dragon exercises that I want to introduce to you today. Okay, so let's get into our standing post position. Remember, when we do this, we want to stand with our legs about hip width apart. Make sure your knees are slightly bent. Okay, no need to go down too far, just slightly bent in the knees. Equal weight distribution on both sides of the body, as well as in the feet, so that you're not leaning forward and not leaning back, but pretty much centered in the feet. Then standing tall, making the straight line from the navel on up to your nose. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Then I want you to bring your arms up in front of you, no higher than the shoulders, so about chest level, nice and rounded, fingers pointing toward each other. And then take a moment just to kind of let your weight sink down just a little bit more. So you're engaging your legs. And close your eyes gently. Begin to breathe in and out through the nose. Just let the breath come deep into the lower abdomen, calming everything inside as it does. Go ahead and gently lower the arms to the side of the body. Allow the eyes to gently open. Good. And then move the body around just a little bit. Two things before we get started. Really started. One of them is a technical thing. I understand that a few of you last week I would freeze up, the video would freeze up on you and such. It's not a technical issue here that's going on, so if that does occur again, what you might want to do is go to your screen and refresh your screen, and it should pick up and make that connection again, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is something that you usually always say, and that is today is different from yesterday, and it'll be different from tomorrow. You only do what you're able to do today, or you modify it a little bit, okay? So we can't go, especially if we have not been exercising regularly, we can't make a big jump and just start getting into everything again. You have to gradually work your way back into it, okay? All right, arms up in front. Let's begin to loosen up our joints a little bit. Everyone's pretty familiar with these exercises here. And again, these are things you can do every morning. Don't need a video to do these. Just to loosen the body up, loosen up the joints. Let's go one more time. Let's do some shoulder rolls now. We're going to bring our shoulder blades together in the back, bring the shoulders up toward your ears, and then let them relax down. I've been working a lot on my shoulders all week long because, as I said last week, I injured my left shoulder one day working out at a food distribution with the food bank. So I kind of been taking it easy on my left shoulder, gently stretching it. Now let's reverse that motion. Bring the shoulders up toward your ears. Let them squeeze the shoulder blades together in the back and then relax down. Up, back, and down. Go one more time here. So I'm going to spend a little bit of extra time on the shoulders here just to make sure that everything's feeling good in the shoulder. So I'm just going to place my hand here mainly so I can feel the rotation of the joints as well as the muscles. And I'm going to take my arm back. So I'm just working on range of motion. Last week it wasn't as good as it is today. So every day I've just been doing a little bit of this, just to kind of ease it up. Do one more time on this side. Good, and then we'll reverse. Here you can see I've got a much greater range of motion, not having to turn my body at all. So I'm just trying to get it back on the left side the way it was before the injury. Let's go one more time. Good. Now take one of your arms across the body, bring the other one in, and tug in towards your chest a bit. Gives you a nice, good stretch along the upper back and the shoulders. Very good. We'll do the same thing on that other side. So just pull it in just a little bit. Don't force anything. Good. And then we can come down to our wrists. Okay? So either turning the hands around, both directions. Just the hands, don't try to move the arms around, just bring your hands around here. Remember, you can also bring them together and kind of Move them back and forth, just turning them around. And don't forget, if there's joint pain in the wrists, you can do the gentle version of opening up the gate, closing the gate. But again, just make sure you're using the wrists, you're not wanting to use the arms at all. And then you would also point fingers up and point fingers down. Yes, this is a very gentle way of just making sure that the wrist joints are staying generally loose. Good. We'll do our fingers next. Very important that we keep our fingers here nice and loose, so we're bringing them down one at a time and opening them up one at a time. So we're exercising some independence here between each finger. Not always the easiest thing to do, especially if we do a lot of things with our hands, whether it's working on the computer, anything repetitive that we might do. Sewing, making masks these days. So we want to keep those fingers nice and relaxed and loose. One more time. Good. Okay. Hands in front. Bring them to the side, out, back, and then back in front again. Arms just going around. Once you have that motion, get your hips moving around as big a circle as you can possibly make. Make sure those hips get nice and loose. Again, if the movement of the arms is confusing to you here, you might just want to hold on to your hips and just make sure that the hips are going around. But I'm also loosening up here in my elbows as I'm taking them around. So that's the purpose of the arms here. Now let's change the direction of your hips. Good. I see you're getting better at making the changes. Very good. All right. Let's step in with our feet together. We're going to bend the knees just a little bit more this time. Remember, we're going to just rest our hands on our thighs here. We're not putting any weight on there. I'm not supporting myself at all. I just want to rotate the knees around. We're making some small circles here. I think that's 10 that direction, so let's make circles going the other direction. We'll do about 10 of those. Good. Then with the feet still together, we're going to just bend at the knees, going down. Coming back up slowly. So we're really working our quadriceps as well as our hamstring muscles by doing this. Keeping the legs nice and strong. How about one more? Very good. All right, stepping back out, we'll loosen up our ankles next. Again, hold on to something if your balance is still a little insecure. Otherwise, just pick up one of your legs. Turn the foot around. Again, you're not wanting to move that leg so much like I'm doing here. Just want to turn that foot around. This is a good time at home for you to practice your balance. You can have something nearby to hold on to, but just kind of let go of that and practice your balance here. So your weight is centered. In this case, in my right foot is centered in my right foot. The moment I begin to shift it back or to another side, you see what happens. So it's a focal concentration of keeping that weight centered in that foot. All right, let's switch over. So center your weight first. Then pick up that leg and turn the foot around. You might want to practice at home so that no one sees you in case you do slip over a little bit. But just centering that weight, and then you'll find that you can take that leg around different directions, and keeping that weight centered, you have a better chance of retaining your balance. Good. All right. Let's step out. Open and close. Again, we're trying to work our quadriceps and our hamstrings here, the back of the legs. We don't want to hurt the knees at all, so I keep repeating this, but it's very important. We don't want the knees extending too far out, nor do we want the knees extending in. They must go the same direction as your toes, okay? Same way with the back. We do not want to bend over and going down. This is not going down, this is just bending at the waist, okay? I don't want to pull anything in my back. I want to lower the weight, even if this is as far as I can go. If you feel your legs, you'll see that already those leg muscles are engaged, okay? Cross those arms in front. Lower the body a bit. And here we go. Breath in. Spread open here. Stretch out. Relax, breathing out. Breath in. And then out. Shall we do the traditional number of these today? 81? I think I hear some protest. Some of you have already jumped up to 78, 79. All right, since we're not being very traditional in our Tai Chi practice today, we'll only do about 10 of them. I think maybe that's 2 more that we've got to do. Who's counting? Very good. All right. So you might need to shake it out of your legs a little bit, move the body around a little bit. I'm going to step over for my first break and get a little sip of something to drink here. Very refreshing. Very good. It's good to have some water or something around. All right. Now we're going to move into the Batuan Jin. Let's see if I can remember all 8 of the movements today. I think I left one out last week, trying to squeeze some other things in. But we'll work through these slowly today. So the first one that we will do is what's known as lifting the sky. Okay? Done a couple different ways. We come up the front, stretch, and then relax. Or bringing the palms up and then turning the palms up. Okay? And basically that same motion. All right? So we'll do 8 to 10 of those. Lifting the sky. We'll begin here, just like you're about to do your standing post. Nice and balanced. And then breath in. Push the hands down, forward, and up. Stretch, breathe out. Relax the body. Remember to keep a slight bend in the knees. Again, breath in. And then out after you stretch. Let's continue. We'll do one more just like this. Then we'll switch to the second method. This time the palms are facing up. Halfway up through the chest, they have to turn and face up. You can look up, stretch, breathe out. So the breath work is still the same. We're breathing in all the way up to the top. Stretch, relax, and breathe out. A few more. Last one now. Very good. We'll go from lifting the sky to separating heaven and earth, sometimes known as touching heaven and earth. You can choose to turn the head if you like. That's normally the way I teach it, but we're going to also do the other one where we turn and look back. So either way, but what we want here is the palms facing up. Bring them up halfway through the chest, breathing in. Separate. You can get your left hand going up, my right hand going down. And then back toward each other, we're breathing in. Once they cross, you breathe out. Remember, if you wanted to turn your head, you could just turn it to the opposite side of whichever arm is up. And let's continue. Breath in. Breath out. So if your left arm is up, you're looking over to your right side. Let's continue. Let's do one more on each side. You can bring that arm down. Good. And so that's separating yin and yang, touching heaven and earth. Same name for same exercise, but different names, I should say. All right. So this third one is added in the Bandwan Jin, which is simply called looking back, turning, looking back. So this is one where we throw those hands back. When I do that, you see it opens up the shoulders here, because here's an inward rotation the way we normally stand. When I throw it back, that's an outward rotation with the shoulder there. So what we want to do is take those back. I'm going to turn to look toward my left, looking back, and then back to the front. Okay? So when the hands go back, I'm breathing in. When they come forward, I breathe out, relaxing. Let's just continue on each side. Nice deep breath in when you are turning back. That lower abdomen should be expanding slightly when you breathe in. Let's go with one more on each side. Good. So let's take a moment here to talk about the breath for just a minute. It's not very muggy today. It's not very humid today. But a couple days ago, it was quite humid. We want to make sure that we're breathing properly and deeply enough, especially on days like that, okay? Days like today, it's easy to go outside and just breathe in comfortably. But on humid days, when you open that front door and you start walking out from your air-conditioned home into that humidity, it almost takes the breath away, and it becomes a little bit more difficult to breathe in deeply. So I want you to take one of your hands, place it below your navel, okay? So when you are doing this nice deep breathing, you should feel a slight expansion below the navel. Everyone will feel one above the navel, okay? Because that's the diaphragm that's pushing down, and so expands that. But to breathe in nice and deep, let's just take a breath. It's not going to be a big expansion. You're not going to expand way out here. But if your lower abdomen is moving 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, that's what you want. So this is a really good practice just to make sure that you're breathing in and out deeply. I remember our teacher would just have us stand here for a good while, making sure that our breathing pattern was comfortable as well as deep. Let's do one more. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Then out through either the mouth or the nose, but slowly. This is not a case where you want to blow the breath out. It's nice, even breath. You're just trying to even the breath out as much as possible. Okay? All right. So you do the same things during the exercises. All right? So as we're breathing in, like when we're doing this one here, I'm making sure that my lower abdomen is expanded out there, and then I relax it. It comes back in, pushes everything else back up. The diaphragm goes back up into place. Okay? All right. It's very good for your insides, and deep breathing, correct breathing is very important for us, okay? All right, so we'll do the next one, which is known as drawing the bow, okay? So in this one here, every time we draw the bow to one side or the other, we're trying to keep the whole shoulder area level so that I'm hitting the same spot every time. It's an imaginary target that I've created, but I'm trying to hit the same spot every single time, which obviously I'm not doing if my shoulders are not level this time, and next time I'm more like this, okay? So it helps to bring focus all along this area here, which we are opening up. Remember I said last week, if you want to practice this one with those elastic bands, putting around 2 of your fingers there and pulling back, okay? You can just go same side, just pulling that. You're trying to get nice expansion here, stretching all the muscles across the top of the chest area, okay? So let's step out first. Again, very important that those knees go in the same direction as the feet, okay? You decide how wide it is that you want to spread the feet apart. Weight is centered here in the middle to begin with. You're going to cross your hands. Now, I'm going to draw the bow to my left first, which will be to your right. So if you want to watch and continue doing that same thing. I'm going to take a breath in. Only on my breath out do I shift weight. Okay? I'm going to take a breath in, and breathe out, shift that weight. Breath in, we're going to bring that right hand all the way around to the other side. Breathe out, draw the bow, shift your weight. So there's no weight shifts while we are breathing in. Only when we're breathing out. Okay, and let's do a few more of these together slowly. Remember last week I talked about the importance too of making sure that the body itself, the torso, stays straight up and down. I don't want to lean over. If you look at the screen right now, I don't want to be like this, okay? I don't want to bend over forward either. My torso straight up and down, just like I'm creating that straight line again, right? Breath in, breath out. We're just shifting weight in the legs. I'm really pressing into this leg. In, out. Try to get that resistance in the upper body. How about one more on each side? Good. You can just come back to the middle. All right. Good. Okay. So that'll really work your legs. So we'll do another one that's going to work our legs. Okay. This is the one where we're punching. All right. So what we want to do here, the stance is a little bit different. This is what they call the horse stance. So the feet are going straight ahead, but I also want to make sure that my knees are not buckling in either. Okay? So if you have to point the toes out just a little bit in order to get those knees stretched out, you know, if you, like the old Thai master, just pull those knees apart there, okay? And then you're going to lower the body weight. So you're really engaging your legs here, okay? Hands by the side. Remember, when we throw the punch, we are tensing everything in our fist and in our arm. Once we've thrown that punch, you can also tense the eyes also, like glaring eyes or angry eyes, they call them. Well, once we've thrown that punch, then we relax everything, and we twist that thumb to where it comes up, and then back with the palm facing up, and draw a relaxed hand back, relaxed fist, okay? All right, let's begin. I'll begin with my right, which will be your left if you want to be on the same side. Okay, now I just want you to breathe in comfortably for this one, in and out. You might take 2 breaths while we do each punch. Let's begin. So tense first, throw that punch, relax. Turn that thumb down and then up on the other side, on the outside, palm facing up. Relax, hand back. Tense the other arm, punch. Relax. Thumb turns out, then palm facing up. Let's continue. Nice deep breaths. This is called punch with angry eyes. When our teacher would have us do this exercise for 10, 15 minutes, those legs get very, very tired. It was very easy to punch with angry eyes looking at your teacher. So if I held you here long enough, you would get the angry eyes part. Relax, twist, come back. We'll do one more on each side. So tense everything, then relax. Part of what this exercise teaches us is to let go. Right? Good. You can relax. Might need to shake it out of your legs again. Right? So we have to let go of the discomfort that we might be feeling in our legs. Okay? We also have to let go the tension. We're tense, and just release, let go, turn. Okay? the letting go creates a whole different environment, all right, for us, both internally as well as externally. All right, we'll step back out again. This is the one where we are bending over the legs. Important again that the knees go the same direction as your toes, hands on the waist. Okay. I'm going to go over my right leg, which will be your left side. Okay. So I'm going to bend over, keep that back as straight as possible, shift my weight over to the left side, bring my chest up, look down at my left, at the opposite foot, I should say. Okay. Again, now over the leg, back around. Chest up, look at the opposite foot. So here I'm on my left side, so I want to look down at my right foot. It would be the opposite for you. Good. One more time on each side. Good. Back to the middle. And we're done with that one. Okay? All right. We're getting near the end of the Bad Wan Chin, I think. So, feet hip width apart. Take a nice deep breath in. And follow the hands all the way down to the front of the feet, or as far down as you can get. Breath in. As you stand back up, bring those hands. They are not touching the body. Breath out behind the head, under the shoulders, and then down the side of the body. Back in. Breath in. This time we'll take those hands around the back just as much as possible, behind the back of the legs. So breathe in all the way to the top. This is where deep breathing comes in. You breathe out all the way to the bottom. Again, remember, if you can only go down to you can't even touch your toes, that's all right. We're just doing a forward bend. What you can do, even if you can't touch your toes, is send your mind or your intention all the way down, as if you were bending all the way to touch the floor. We'll do one more complete one. Standing back up. Good. Remember, years ago, in one of the classes that I teach, this lady, she said her one goal in the class, and this is fine because sometimes we have to take things one at a time. Her one goal in the class was to be able to bend over and paint her toenails. Okay? You know? So that was great because when she first started, she was about right here. That's about as far as she could get down. Okay? And it took her maybe a year to get down about this far. But then she was there, and she was there, and then she was there. You know? So with time, that's why I always say, we start with wherever we're at, and we just continue to make progress from there. And it can be, depending on the injuries and things that we've experienced, that maybe this is as far as it might ever be. That's okay, okay? But you're doing it, okay? You're doing that forward bending. So oftentimes, because you don't think you can get down to the floor, you just forget about it entirely. So now the last one, dropping post. I think it's the last one. I don't know if we've gone through 8 or not. I'm going to have to double check again, okay? All right, so I'm doing it sideways to here. I'm sure some of you will send comments in about it. So we're going to come up onto the balls of our foot and down like that, okay? So I'll turn and face you. You can use your hands to get just a little bit more momentum. Blow the breath out, okay? This is the one time when you do want to blow the breath out, all right? So nice deep breath in, out. Just let those heels drop. Two more. Is that two? I think so. Okay. So that's called dropping heels, or sometimes dropping posts. It's reminiscent of, you know, when you're digging a hole that you're going to put a post in there, that you just let that post drop right in there with all of its weight to be secured in there. Okay? So that's about one gene for today. It may have only been 7, but we'll correct that next week for sure. Okay? All right. So I wanted to show you just a couple of dragon exercises before we get into the form a little bit, and then I'm going to finish up with something different here on the chair. All right? So I think I have just enough time maybe to show you one dragon exercise today. This is from a set that's called the 4 Dragons. And all I'm going to be showing you today is the stretching part. Some of you are already familiar with this. We will not be doing any of the walking that takes place. Okay? I'm going to show it to you from 2 different angles. Okay? So the first one is called actually walking dragon, but we, like I said, we won't be doing the walking today. But what we want to do, I'm going to show it to you. I may be facing sideways first. So I'm putting one foot in front of the other. But if you notice, I've got the feet turned different directions. Okay? It doesn't matter how far out they turned out, they're just pointing different directions. I'm standing up straight. All of my weight is on the back leg. Whatever leg that is, it's on the back leg. When I finish the movement, however, it's going to be on my front leg because, as you can see, I'm going to pivot this back foot, rather. Okay? So then I'm going to pivot back, shift my weight back, and pivot again, moving forward. But there's something that I'm also doing with the arms at this time. So I'm going to have the same arm and leg out in front, with the other arm by the side, with the hand palm facing up. Okay? So when I end up with this position, I'm going to have opposite leg and arm out in front. Okay? So I'm going to take a breath in here, and then I'm going to shift weight forward and breathe out by extending. Okay? Breath in, breath out. Okay? Now, I'm going to switch feet. Not that you have to. I'm going to switch feet because I think you'll be able to see. I'll be opening up the other direction or towards the camera. So in this case, my right foot is in front, so I begin with my right arm in front, but I finish with my left arm in front. Earlier we were drawing the bow. I want the same kind of resistance here, so that I'm stretching the arm. I'm not locking it. I'm stretching from my fingertips. Get a nice stretch. I feel that there, all across the shoulder, all across the top here, because I'm pulling the hand back to the side. Don't pull it further back. That's too much of an extension. Just right to the side. I shift my weight back again. Breath in, breath out. Okay? So now I'm going to face you. If you want to do the opposite foot, that's up to you. I'm going to have my left foot in front, my right one in the back. They're both turned opposite directions. My weight is in the back leg. Left foot is in front, so I begin with my left hand in front, Right hand's by the side of the body. Let's breathe in. Shift weight forward. Breathe out. Pivot that back foot. So I'm really kind of balanced here on that front leg. You can see how I pick my foot up. I'm balanced, okay? I'm just coming onto my toes. Then I shift weight back again. Breath in, breath out. In as you come back. Breath out. Turn the body, get the resistance going. Do one more on this side, and then we're going to switch sides. Good. So shift your weight back. All right? Now, I'm putting the opposite foot in front. In this case, my right foot. I'm weighted on my left foot in the back. Right arm is extended. Same arm and leg. Left one's by the side of the body. But it's going to be opposite arm and leg in front as I finish. So breath in, breath out. Extend forward with those fingertips. Come back. In and out. Breath in here. Out. So you shift weight forward and then to the back again. Work on opening up here. If you're turning the body enough, you should feel this in the lower lumbar, in the lumbar area, I should say, of the spine or the back. This is a dragon form. Dragons usually means that we are working with the spine. Let's do two more. Come back. Okay. So I think that's all for today. The difficulty in this when we are doing it, that we are actually moving, is that I'll demonstrate, take a few steps for you. So I'm coming here, balancing, coming there, opening up. So I'm really opening and turning the body, as well as making sure I'm balanced, so when I pick that other foot up, I'm steady, right? So we'll work on this again next week. We'll eventually work on exercises to open up the entire spine, all the way up into the cervical area, okay? All right, now, we have just enough time to look at the Tai Chi form. So, I'm not going to go through all of last week's again. But what I wanted to show you facing the camera is that we finished with push mountain, but we were facing this direction, okay? So if I were here, I'm going to do it once for you from behind. Then I want to turn around so that you can see the movements of the arm, okay? So we finished with push mountain after going through grass sparrow's tail, right? Coming back, push mountain. The next thing that we have to do is to head the other direction again, which would be toward my left. So I'm dropping my right arm and turning my right foot in, so I'm facing here toward the back end or toward the stage here. I'm going to circle the hands around and make a hook hand with my right. Left hand comes up in front of the chest. I'm making a T-step basically with my left foot. I'm going to step out to the side, turn the body, and we know that this is single whip. Okay? So I did not step directly in front of this leg here. So I'm not here lined up, so if I brought this back, that's incorrect. Okay? Here, if I brought it back, turn this foot, I'm hip width apart. Okay? So that's what we want. So this is the first single whip. We'll take it just a little further. Next comes cloud hands. So now I turn my left foot, drop that hook hand, and I'm just circling my hands in front, like wax on and wax off. Stepping in. I step out when my right hand goes out. I step in when it comes down and in. One more. Then we'll do the next single whip. Okay, so here we're going to get ready to do single whip. So that right hand forms a hook. As it comes back out to the side, left one comes back up to the chest. I step out, turn into single whip. Yeah? Easy, right? Piece of cake. I brought some dessert with me today. Okay? So I'm going to do it, but I'm going to begin by facing this way so that you will see the arm movements, okay? Facing you or the camera. All right? So I ended up in push mountain. I turn, right foot, right arm comes down. They circle around. Right hand makes a hook. I make a T-step, left hand just circles up in front of the chest. I step forward and out for the first single whip. The arms are lined up over the legs. So if I'm here, that'd be incorrect, right? Okay? Then we have cloud hands. Turn that left foot in, start making circles with the hands. One more. Just stepping off to the side. Back into the second single whip. Hook hand with the right. Left hand comes in front of the chest. Step forward and out. Once again, turn the body all the way to the left. Single whip. Like I said, piece of cake. So easy. Okay? We'll work on that a little bit more next week. We're heading toward the last little bit of class, so once you get a drink and find your chair, I'm going to lead us in just a little bit of a meditation here. Oh, that's so good. Okay, so every week I want to try and bring something to you that might help you to relieve the stress that you might be feeling. And again, it's perfectly all right to feel stressed. I have to go out walking a couple times a day because I just get tired of being inside all the time. I'm used to going out and doing classes, and so I'm used to running around a bit. So I got to go out walking and do whatever it is. I go down to the park where I live by, and maybe just sit there and read a little bit or meditate a little bit. I've joined Audible Books, so now I can read with my ears, which my wife thinks is kind of funny. But so I can just take my earbuds and go to the park and listen to a book and enjoy myself that way. But just anything to just relieve the stress that we might be feeling, okay? So I want you to find a comfortable place in your chair where you're sitting like you're getting ready to meditate. Your hands at this point are just relaxed in your lap. And I want you to close your eyes and just follow my instructions. So just gently close your eyes. And the first thing I want you to do is to notice your tongue. Let it just simply relax. Usually when we are a little bit tense, that tongue is not very relaxed. So just let it rest on the floor of your mouth. Just take a moment to let that tongue relax. And then with your eyes gently closed, I want you to bring your attention inside, like behind your eyes. And just create this empty space inside of you. Just as if you were hollow. Just this emptiness, spaciousness. And then I want you to follow this breathing pattern. You might count silently to yourself. I'm going to count out loud. But I want you to breathe in to a count of 4 and breathe out to a count of 4. Let's begin that together. Breath in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just continue to do that. Check back with your tongue. Notice that if it's still relaxed or not. Check back with your breathing. Are you still breathing to that count? And take your right hand and just simply place it over your heart area. Breathing in comfortably to the count of 4 and out to the count of 4. And then I want you to begin to breathe in and out through the heart, just where you have your hand. And here's what I want you to breathe in. For today, I want you to breathe in love. Whatever that means to you. It says in the Christian scripture that God is love. So if that's the case, you're breathing in spirit and breathing out spirit. Breathing in love to a count of 4 and breathing it out to a count of 4. Every time you're breathing in, you're filling yourself with more and more love. I would suggest practicing that for a little bit. Just breathing in love so that that empty space that you created is just filled with love. You might want to practice that for a few minutes. We don't have the time today to do so, but just sitting quietly, filling yourself with love. As you breathe in. And once you've gotten very good at that, then you want to share that love. So every time you breathe out, that love is going out, right out from your heart. Out to those that are with you, those around you, those that you already love, no matter the distance, and maybe those that you don't love. Especially maybe those that you don't love. Just building more compassion, more love. Just another 30 seconds or so. Check your tongue, make sure it's nice and relaxed. Make sure your breathing is even. You might feel the space around your heart just really warming up. You can go ahead and relax your hand back into your lap. You'll gently open your eyes. Check your breathing. Try to keep it at that pattern if you can. Make sure the tongue is still nice and relaxed. Good. So what we just did is known as heart coherence. And I'll tell you maybe about it a little bit more next week. We will practice it one more time. You can substitute love, make it joy, make it peace, whatever it is that you need in your life. I thought love would be the best thing for us to begin with. I want to thank you very much for coming today. See you next week. Enjoy the rest of your day and week.